It would seem such a simple question. After all, there are cues and clues just about everywhere. In the monuments to the explorers who made history, in the tributes to those who served and protect, and in an icon of courage and hope. And there is this, in the heart of a St. John's institution of higher learning, the image of a father of confederation. It would seem with all this inspiration, a definition of leadership should come easy.
We're looking at the lens.
I think leadership in Canada is always about the next generation, not the next election.
Someone who recognizes that global warming and climate change is a real crisis.
And what we're known for in the world as peace lovers and justice servers.
A leader is someone who is willing to set aside their ego in order to do what's best for our country.
Being able to lead without hesitation is key.
In this day and age, people have a hard time admitting that they've done something wrong, especially when it comes to politics.
They're all intelligent people. The issue, though, is experience.
So my definition of leadership in Canada is someone who listens to young voters.
So not easy to find one meaning for that word leadership. Now throw in the context of an election battle and things get even more complex. That's why we're here. Who better to define leadership than a pool of young voters seeking guidance and inspiration as they begin to forge their own paths into the future. Paths which may one day involve leadership. Meet Raylene Mackey. When we asked Memorial University students for their thoughts on leadership, Raylene didn't have to think twice. She's 19 and a first-time voter, but already a political junkie. Not only is she a poli-science major, but a page in the Provincial House of Assembly. Let's talk about leadership, because you kind of study political leadership, and so you've been studying this campaign.
They all have specific qualities that is a part of my definition of leadership. And I mean, you look at Harper, he's had experience. You look at Trudeau, he's got the credibility. You look at Mulcair, he's got the dedication and the reputation.
When you watch the debates, and I'm sure you've
yes.
watched all of them, do you see leadership in debates, or is it all sort of political point scoring?
That, you know, they have to read their script. They have to say certain things. They have to, you know, emphasize certain policies and things that their party supports.
Now you see through that. Do you think your fellow students see through that? Is that something that the youth are able to cut through right away and say, that's all just message track?
I think they are, and perhaps that could be the reason why youth voter turnout is such at an all-time low right now. But yet there is a lot of youth that really don't pay mind or pay heed to politics anymore because they think that it doesn't affect them, which I question why they think that.
Did you hear about the Elections Canada office that's going to be open on campus next week?
She may have a point. Just look at the statistics. The last time Canada went to the polls in 2011, voter turnout was 61.1%. But when you examine youth voting patterns, that's the 18 to 24-year-olds, there's a big dip. 38.8% cast ballots. Now look at the number for Newfoundland and Labrador. Just 29.6% of all young people showed up to vote. That's the lowest figure for any province. It's why at Memorial you'll see scenes like this.
You heard about advanced polling stations that are happening on campus.
Campus campaigns to put student issues on the election agenda. And as of today, Elections Canada trying to get more young people to the ballot box with advanced polls. "19-year-old Adam Dyson is keen to vote for the first time. Was keen to answer our call for student thoughts on leadership too. Always active and on the go, Adam is from Labrador and has roots in the Aboriginal community. What are you looking for when you're looking for leadership?
When I'm looking for leadership, I want to find someone who's actually willing to go out and associate with the general public and come out and want to actually make a difference in the lives of people. To me, that's what a leader is. It just goes out with the intention every single day to try to make a positive change.
You sometimes like to equate leadership in politics to leadership you see on the athletic field?
I'm a huge hockey fan personally, and yeah, there are some few key leaders in hockey that I see too. I look back at Wayne Gretzky, for example. Yes, he was definitely a leader on ice, but off ice, you know, he comes out to be a coach and to be a mentor to all these young athletes who's trying to get into the game. I've seen it also with people like PK Subban, $10 million donation, you know, to hospitals. Like, those things are huge to me.
So what could our political leaders learn from our sports heroes?
Well, I think the political leaders get to be not so caught up in the whole game of politics. I think sometimes the leaders are so caught up in saying the right thing that people will want to hear rather than the right thing that's for the better of all Canadians.
This is an election about leadership on the big issues that affect us all.
Openly and transparently. That's real leadership.
This is a challenge, and it requires leadership.
It may not come up as much as the economy, but the issue of leadership is a big one, something all the parties have tried to score points with on the campaign trail.
It's leadership.
Leadership.
And in advertising. But how is all this messaging playing out? Kylie Goodyear is a second-year med student at Memorial. Practical instruction on clinical skills happens right alongside lessons in physician accountability.
So could you take a deep breath, please?
So leadership is an issue she takes very much to heart.
This will be the second or third time that you voted federally?
Yes, yeah.
What have you learned from past experience about how you make that determination about leadership?
The first time I voted, I was a little bit naive and just kind of went with what my parents were saying and what my grandparents were saying. Hey, the Conservatives or the Liberals are doing a good job. Okay, well, I'll just vote that. But now that I'm a little bit older and I'm in medical school, I'm kind of looking at the platforms.
When you talk to your fellow students,
yeah,
what are they saying about?
They're a little concerned.
Yeah.
Because the same kind of thing. We're all going to be future physicians one day. The healthcare system is not doing well. We're not seeing any new infrastructure to help with an aging population. And we're going to be the ones responsible, as physicians they're saying, are the custodians of the healthcare system.
So you're not seeing leadership?
I'm not seeing leadership.
So exactly 2 weeks from Election Day, ask students to sift through the choices and decide who best exemplifies qualities of leadership. And the portrait of a prime minister becomes, well, take a look. Okay, so a definition of leadership is still a bit complicated. But the good news is these students at least are engaged and they plan to vote.